It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that one and done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball information. And we are so pleased to be able to bring you all the info you need for the 16-game Thursday main slates on the first real official day of the tournament. And we're happy that you joined us to chop it up here on One and Done. If you don't know now, you know my name is Jay Heinrich. I'm the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train. Joined tonight on your viewing device by the man known around these parts as El Capitan himself. He's the captain of the One and Done ship at MC Holland 34 on X. The OG Money Mike, the Comet Chaser. That is Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, we got a $25K to first on DraftKings for this
I like
one.
that.
We also have the $10 One and Done tournament invitational here,
Yes.
and we're going to drop the link in the chat for that as well. Join your favorite broskies and broskets over there on DraftKings for that. We've got the Yahoo Bracket Challenge. We're going to get a link to that in the live chat as well. So make sure you get into all of those fun things here with One and Done. And keep the comments rolling. We got comments right off the bat. Loving to see the chat, Mike. And I am loving the fact that I know we've gone up and down this slate. You're going to give us a quick overview right now, my man. And then we're going to dive right into each and every one of these games. So, Mike, give us your quick overview of this slate, and then we're going to dive in.
Yeah, this will be probably the quickest overview of the entire DFS season. We haven't had this many games, right? This happens every single year. DK, soft on the pricing, man. Everything that you want to do, anybody that you want to play is completely live. Only 3 guys, 5 figures, value all over the place that we're going to talk about. It's going to take a massive number to take down 25K, but we're here to talk about it.
It's going to take a massive number, but you might win a massive number as well. And we're loving it. We're loving this time of year. I can't believe that we're here, man.
Crazy.
Like we got the last games of the first 4 going on right now as we record on Wednesday night here. Make sure you hit all those buttons, like and subscribe. In the chat, you'll find our DraftKings Invitational link. We can flash that up on the screen. And then we also have our Yahoo Bracket Challenge, which, by the way, that's a $25 gift card to StubHub, right? On the line.
Bad. Yeah, not
to
bad.
The winner there. Not too bad. So hop right there and get in the bracket challenge on Yahoo with us. Happy Blue Pill Thursday, Jeff. Good to see our guys. The heavy hitters are out. Jeff's in the chat. We hope you join him in there. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button and hop in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know if you're watching in the morning as well. The best part of waking up is one and done in your cup. And if you're watching later on, hop in the comments and let us know. But without further ado, Mike, we need to hop into these games so we can get through all 16 of them. And we're going to start right now with TCU and Ohio State. 147 implied points according to KenPom's metrics. A 3-point spread in this one. Sort of a mid-tempo game, Mike, and a lot of players feel underpriced.
Yeah, I was a little surprised when we ran the projections on this game because, there's a lot of games that we're going to want to target. This feels more like a situation where you can get in early, maybe catch a big score from a one-off. So, you look at it on the Ohio State side, the forwards are underpriced, even though everything kind of goes through these guards, Thornton and Mobley. You have Christoph Tilly. He's $5,400. That's pretty cheap for his price tag and what he's able to do. Amari Bynum as well, who's been playing big minutes lately, and his role has grown. Did the PrizePicks show last night and taking the 9.5 over. Looks like people are starting to follow that train. It was one of the more popular picks on PrizePicks this morning. So if it's still at 9.5, try to grab the over there. I think either one of those guys are kind of interesting in the large field. Don't know that they have like a massive ceiling. So not going to get too crazy in this game at all. But I could see Bynum putting up a pretty big score. Bruce Thornton's always in play at 8,600, Jay. Like, he has to do everything. He's liable to play all 40 minutes in this one. So the ability to put up, big rebounding, big assist numbers for a guard at 8,600 is pretty solid too. So not in love with too much else on the Ohio State side. Devin Royals more of like a floor play. I'm not interested in that if you're trying to win a tournament. On the TCU side, Jay, Xavier Edmonds and Micah Robinson, David Punch, we kind of been playing them all year. They're probably priced exactly where they should be. They're not playing in Oklahoma State, so you're not getting like a mega pace up where they can really, really exceed their upside. So as you can see here, we only have Edmonds and Pierre right at 4x. So just not exciting on this TCU side, man.
The projections that you see on the screen, those are one and done's projections, matchup based stuff, a lot of number crunching going on, and wanted to give you some justification this year. This is something that we've added to our DFS shows. This is sort of what goes into our mindset here as we're making some of these picks. And Mike's obviously won some GPPs, the Comet Chaser over here himself. And we hope that you are going to win some big money too on DraftKings. So thanks for hanging out with us. Hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Playmaker in the chat saying Michigan bringing home the bread.
Let's go.
Yeah,
bracket
that's Mike's
bids.
pick. Yeah, we had our bracket bids draft. I'll talk a little bit more about bracket bids a little bit later in the show, but we had our bracket bids draft here, and Mike obviously spent up to get Michigan there. And we're going to break down Michigan a little bit later in the show. We'll get there. Thanks for hopping in the chat for sure. Let's move on now. Oh, one more thing. I want to make sure we get to all these in the chat real quick. Miami, Ohio, shown up tonight. Mike, we were talking
let's
about that too.
go.
Just happy,
Yeah,
let's go.
only an hour or two away from home. So yeah, you knew they were going to have crowd favorites. They're up by 11 right now, under a minute to go. So we can't wait to watch the second half once we finish with the DFS show. But we wanted to bring the content because we know big numbers on the line tomorrow. Big money. No
big
whammies.
Money, no whammies. Stop.
Oh wait,
no
is that
whammies.
trade? Is that trademark?
I don't. Yeah, maybe don't. Maybe we won't get a strike for that. Either way, moving on now to the next game on this slate. Troy, the Sun Belt champs, taking on Nebraska. 138 implied points in this one, according to Ken Palm's metrics, a 16-point spread and a slower tempo game. We know Nebraska top 10 in defensive efficiency, according to Ken Palm metric as well. And then Theo saying, good to go after missing some time recently. Mike, So what are your thoughts on this Troy-Nebraska game?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously this is the trendiest pick, right, for a 13 over a 4. It's one that I have in my bracket. Now, it's going to take everything from Troy, and Nebraska's going to have to give them something here, right, in order for this to happen. I talked about on the betting show a couple of things. One, don't mind getting, if you can still get 12.5 on Troy, I would take that. And then also I had the over on points for Victor Valdez. I had him at 15 yesterday, just kind of working through things throughout the day. Cooled him down. He's at about 14 projected points, but I think he's sitting at 12.5 on PrizePicks. As you can see, for our Troy side, we don't really, when we pull this up here, we don't really have anybody in the, in the light green, which is our, let's go. That's like you're at the, you're not even on the highway. You're just cruising down the street, flying down the street, making, getting some of that bread, getting those fantasy points. We don't really have anybody in that section for Troy. But when you look down at Nebraska, Jay, Rank Mass is looking pretty good, and that is absolutely scary, Jay, because how many times have we been burned by Rank Mass not doing anything? But he was a non-con hero this year. He had like over 124 offensive rating against non-con teams and then 105 offensive rating in the Big Ten. So this is a non-con team. Jay, you've seen Troy play. They're not great defensively. Like they were better last year when they had Connerway defensively. So it's not the same Troy team. Demarcus Lawrence, Booyah Tunchel, like they have more floor type value. But Rick Mass definitely has a high floor, one of the highest floor ceiling combinations on the entire slate. So he doesn't need to do much, Jay. It's 6K. At 6K. That's I mean
as soon as I started looking at these projections, I said, Mike, really? We're doing this with Rank Mass? I asked it. It was the first thing that I said when I was looking at this. And it does. I get it. I get why it pops. It's just a scary click, man. Like we've been burned so many times, but I have seen Troy play in person. They're not the sort of team that I feel like is going to impose themselves against this Nebraska team, a really good Nebraska team. So, I get it though, man.
I mean, look, if he goes for 15, 7, and 3, like that is going to absolutely crush 6K. If he happens to, he never gets any stocks. That's why his upside is somewhat limited, right? But if he picks up a stock or two and he's able to get those numbers, now Gagner's asking about Frager. I love playing Frager. It's just a 16-game slate. We have guys that are going to play 38 minutes at this price tag that we're going to talk about. So at 4,700, Frager could absolutely come off the bench and fry. He scored 15 plus real life points multiple times this season. He can rebound. I'm at 19 minutes. If they get a blowout and he plays 24, 25 or foul trouble to Burke or to to Mast, then he's live for 27, 28 minutes, and then he becomes like a sneaky GPP type play. But I think for the most part, it's gonna be Mast. I'll play him in the large field and really all fields, just because he gives you a really good floor and he gives you a really good ceiling at 6K. Lawrence, more of a floor type play. He doesn't get me too excited. I'm kind of surprised it's because he's 5,200. We've been playing him at 6K. So you drop him down to 5,200, he looks a lot better. So obviously some good plays. Troy's expected to give up 77 points, but this is a slower game. This could go under. So just be careful here, and not really interested in getting Thomas out, even though he's going to have a lot of love tomorrow, just as one of the better mid-major players. Troy's got to go inside in order to win, and they shoot a lot of threes for some reason. So that's probably going to be the key to the game.
Let's keep the chat going. We got Gags in there. We got BX. We got Playmaker. Let's keep it rolling. Love to see the chat on fire. The liveliest live chat in all of college hoops. Hit the subscribe button. Do so. Hop in there. Show your broskies in basketball some love. Let's move on to South Florida and Louisville. Mike, obviously some big injury news in this one. Michael Brown Jr. ruled out for Louisville. I mean, that's going to play a part. Obviously, everybody's going to get a little bit of or some of these guys are going to get a little bit of a bump here. Louisville projected for 84 points in this one. We like that. Both teams going to run probably about 70 possessions in this one. What the projections are looking like, man. So obviously that plays pretty well, and there's some nice value between these two teams.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I was talking about, Jay. You look at Adrian Woolley. He's 4,900, right? We're talking Frager at 4,700 at 19 projected minutes. You play Adrian Woolley, he could actually play, 34, 35 minutes here. So that's, you're looking at, we have him at 22.5 DK at 4,900. If he plays 35, 36, like you're looking at an explosive DFS play. So obviously with the news of Michael Brown, it makes these guards, right, really, really viable. McNeely at 4,700, he could get hot. This is a game where they're going to fire off a ton, like both sides are just going to fire off threes. I think yesterday was at like 165.5. So it's going to be insane, man. So somebody's got to pick up the slack. Conwell's going to play. Conwell might, people are obviously picking South Florida, right? Even on the money line, even taking some points there. It was down to like 4.5 yesterday. Didn't look today, but Conwell's probably going to play all 40 minutes. He's probably going to take 20 shots. So like if you're playing the large field and Ryan Conwell catches fire, he can put up like a 45 or a 50 at 8,100. So I'm definitely looking at Conwell. I'm looking at Woolley. McNeely's in play. I don't know, man. I can't really play through. Hadley's okay with Brown out, but he's just at 7,200 now. And you look down here, Isaiah Nelson, Jay, look, he could play 18 minutes because he fouls or because Hodgson wants to just go with Jones, or he could play 33 minutes, and his rates are crazy. They've been crazy. If you followed him with Arkansas State, he was a 9K player there. He was a 9K player earlier this year. Now you're getting him for 7,800. He's liable for a double-double here with big points and some block upside. So Isaiah Nelson, definitely someone that I'm looking at on this South Florida side. I can't get too excited about like Enos and Pignon. Those are the guys that are going to fire off a million threes from the wing. So really for me, Jay, it's just gonna be Isaiah Nelson, and that has to be a large field type of play because he could absolutely sink you. But he's also a GPP type winner. So.
I imagine that we're going to be playing a ton of lineups. So mixing and matching here, that's what it's all about, finding that right combination. And we're bringing you some projections here and some opinions on how you can get that done. So hit the subscribe button, hop in the chat. We're rolling along here, covering all 16 games on this Thursday slate of basketball and the best tournament in the world. I'd argue with the wall. I'm sorry. It is what it is. So hop in the chat if you think otherwise, but this is the greatest tournament in sport, period. And we're happy that you joined us for the first full day.
It's like the greatest gambling event
DFS.
too, Jay.
It is,
like,
easily.
DFS. I just signed up for like 4 Survivor lineups. Like I got all kinds of stuff going on. We got our family brackets, right? We got our bracket going on, man. Bracket bids. We got
Yeah, our friends over at Bracket Bids, man. We just got that. We just did our own Bracket Bids draft here, and it's the auction draft. This is the second year in a row that we partnered with Bracket Bids. You can see the logo up there in the corner of the screen, and it's a different approach, but more strategy, more competition, a better March. That's how we talk about Bracket Bids here on this show. Shout out to our guy Ryan Osterman over at Bracket Bits for partnering up with us. We had our one and done draft the other day. I came away with Houston, who I think is going to win the whole tournament, and Mike came away with Michigan, spent like 685 bracket bucks of his 1,000 salary cap on Michigan, but he got a squad. And yeah, it's just a different approach. It's an auction draft instead of a bracket. You can still do your bracket, and we have our Yahoo bracket in the chat. If you want to hop in there and try to win a $25 gift card to StubHub, you can also, obviously that bracket's available, but the bracket bid stuff is just a different way to approach it, an auction style draft where you just bid on the teams and go against your league mates. It's a lot of fun. So shout out to Ryan Osterman and the guys over at Bracket Bids for sure. Still time to get onto Bracket Bids.
Yeah.
And get yourself a draft going. So get over there and show them some love for sure. All right, let's keep it rolling here. High Point and Wisconsin. This game, speaking of getting up and down, man, speaking of teams that are going to want to run a little bit, High Point, 50th in tempo. Wisconsin, just over the triple-digit mark. And the Badgers, man, just an offensive juggernaut. We love it when we see Wisconsin on a slate. Nolan Winter expected to be a full go in this one as well. So another one with some big team totals here, Mike. What are we doing?
Yeah, so you got to like this Wisconsin side. Almost a 90-point implied total. They're getting their star big man back. Nolan Winter was kind of tough, right? I initially had him at 18 minutes. Which put Velasquez and Rapp as like, man, you got to really look at these guys as someone to stack with one of the guards because you're going to want to probably play one of the guards, either Blackwell or Boyd. Boyd's got a fantastic floor, like an awesome cash play in this environment, and he has upside. I mean, yes, he's 9,200, but we haven't projected to score 23 points. I think his player prop yesterday on PrizePicks was 21.5. He's going to get you dimes. He can also get a couple of steals. I think he had like 5 or 6 steals against Michigan. So we're projecting him for 1 steal here, but he's live to get 3 or 4 here, which is really going to set him off for a GPP. So him or Blackwell all season, man, but playing one of these guys. One of them is going to fry because one of them has the ball in their hands every single possession. I can't really play Nolan Winter. I pumped him up to 26 minutes, cooled off on Rapp and Velasquez a little bit. So they're, those guys, we're going to talk about more smash plays. We've already talked about one 4K play last game. Woolley that is going to play 31 to 35 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to stack one of those guys in hopes that like Rapp goes crazy from 3 like he did against Michigan the other day, but he's 5,200. So, like, you're trying to win 25K. I just don't think you need to mess with anything outside of a Blackwell and a Boyd in a tournament. And then over here on the High Point side, just no one getting a huge green light because they play 1,000 guys. It's just hard to know. Really, like Rob Martin and Terry Anderson are kind of guaranteed their minutes, but everything else is just kind of up for grabs. And 78 implied, it's pretty solid. But when you run 10 guys out there, Jay, it's just you don't have to do that on this slate.
There's no reason to go fishing if you've already got your feast on the shore. Right. And we're going to be able to find that sure thing later on in some of these teams. So make sure you're sticking around for the whole show. We're breaking down all 16 games. Hit the like and subscribe button. If you haven't already, hop in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. Man, this is one with Sienna and Duke next on the card here. 55 implied points for Sienna. So that is going to get you not a lot of conversation here on one and done. From a DFS perspective, both of these teams are slower than Christmas, and Ngongba just got confirmed out this evening already, so he's confirmed out. Caleb Foster obviously out as well. So what's the bright side here? Is there a bright side behind those 81 implied points for Duke?
Yeah, so I mean, you probably have to play Caden Boozer at this point. I mean, with Foster out, if he doesn't foul, he's going to play 37, 38 minutes. He looked really good in the ACC tournament. We know he's obviously got 5-star pedigree, great connection with his brother, obviously. But yeah, we haven't projected for 5x, and he can obviously go for 6x at this price tag. It's just too cheap for how many minutes he's going to play, man. Now I had Ngongba in for I think 8 to 10 minutes earlier today. Took him out, so that's going to pump up Sar, Kaminia, Malik Brown. Kaminia, you definitely have to look at. He's been playing like 30 minutes. So, you're looking at him at 4,700 against Sienna. Like, he's going to be a solid play, solid value play. There's just a lot of solid value plays in the 4K range. Everything else here, like I'm not on Evans, on Sar. Sar is more of like, he's going to be out there for 32 to 33 minutes, but he's just not a high usage guy. So I'd rather take shots on Kaminia, who loves to shoot the ball. And then like I know the Sienna side, we got some guys on the green here. It's because they play 7 guys. Really, they play all their starters 33 plus minutes. But this is like the max as to what they can get. So like if you're playing in a tournament, like 4.2x is probably the max for any of these guys. And for them to get there, like kind of everything has to go right for these guys. So just not a lot of upside, even though their floors are going to be good. And they're probably going to get into foul issues. And we might see like a team manager run out there to it's just kind of one of those things. They're going to get worn out in the first half and it's going to be over. So yeah, I would look on the Duke side. Cameron Boozer, man, that's always a question mark. He's expensive, man. Yeah. 11-2, and they don't really need to play like. If they do what they've done earlier in the season, where he's out there with like 6 minutes to go and they're up by 35, and something happens to him, the Shire will get fired. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. I pumped him back up to 37, but even at 37, man, like 40 and a half is just not going to do it. Even though he could go for 40 in the first half against these guys. So do with what you will, man.
He could go for 40 in the first half and end up with 45 for the game. You know what I mean? And that can help. But we're talking 11.2 here. It's a lot, and there's other ways that we can spend up a little bit here. I think I don't know. It's going to be tough for me to click.
You're going to be able to play them too, though, Jay, because we have so much value. So like, there's going to be people that play them just on name recognition and just the fact that like, if somehow the game's within, it's not going to be. But anyway, so play Blueser.
It better not be.
I'm not going to play him, man. I don't know. If he goes for 55, you're not dead either because there's other guys that can go for 45, 50.
And Caden Boozer, that's the Boozer to open the app and click on right now. Especially, if he's not in foul trouble, he's playing 36 guaranteed.
Wheels up, man.
Far away for sure. It might make it fair to play 7. Good to see Darren in the chat. I saw Jay Kearney in there as well, hopping in. And
what up, Jay?
The big guns are all out in the chat. Keep it rolling, and we're gonna keep this DraftKings slate rolling here. Move on to a matchup of a couple of teams. Well, at least we have more. We have a little bit more implied, some more implied points in this one. A little bit funner to talk about. McNeese and Vanderbilt, 152 implied points on this total. McNeese is slow, we know that, but Vandy wants to run, so there are going to be a few possessions in this game for sure. We know that in addition to that, there's also going to be a lot of players projected to check in to this game. So despite the larger team totals here, it's going to be a little bit tougher maybe to want to just smash more than one or two of these guys buttons here. What are you thinking, Mike? Obviously Vanderbilt's a team that's playing extremely well right now. McNeese, a team that has just found a way to stay relevant, and they're playing good basketball too. What do you think? How are we approaching this?
Yeah, it found it interesting, man. Like Tyshawn Archie popping at a big number here, but if you look at like what he's been doing, man, he has been the absolute engine for these guys. Putting up 40 fantasy points. Now this is obviously a much different matchup, a much tougher defense. So I may cool him down just a little bit, but those numbers are still live at 6K. Like those aren't like huge numbers, right? At the end of the day, if you're like, Tyshawn Archie had 14, 3, and 5, a couple of steals, like you're like, okay, well, what was his price tag? It was 6K. Well, then he had a pretty solid DraftKings day. You know what I mean? So I'm not looking at anybody else, man. Like Larry Johnson's always interesting because he can he can score, but he's 7,400, so that takes out a lot of the like tournament type upside, I think. And Vanderbilt, I just don't think is going to allow him to kind of just go off here. On the Vandy side, man, surprised that we don't have a bigger projection on Tyler Tanner. Duke Miles obviously has been coming on really strong. Devin McLaughlin's more of your floor play. Jalen Washington, now that he's in the the mid 5K range, it's just not exciting. McNeese has some guys that can throw some bodies around too in the paint. So I think Tyler Tanner always live in tournaments just because he has that type of upside. So I'm not crossing him off by any means, but there's really not that much in here that I want to play. I may take some shots on Archie in tourneys, and I may take some shots on Tyler Tanner in tourneys. But outside of that, I'm probably off on everything else in this game environment.
Yeah, I almost want Larry Johnson to know that he's going to score 25 real life points in order to make me want to click that. I don't know that Vanderbilt's going to allow that to happen. And Tyler Tanner is going to be looking to rebound. He didn't play well in that title game, conference
Yeah,
tournament
Pete
title
Miles was
game.
crying too.
So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But again, like you said, Tyler Tanner, they're at 9K flat. No need to worry. My accountant handles that. That's gonna have to click his name at least once or twice in a tournament.
Yeah, 40 plus upside, about 9K. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. And
Yeah,
that's the type of thing you were talking about earlier with the Cam Boozer. Like, yeah, he might get you 50, but at 11.2, and
yeah,
a guy like Tyler Tanner at 9K
yeah.
flat can still get you in the 45, and you not blink twice, and
Yep.
like, oh, that's totally what he's capable of. So love it, Mike. Excellent stuff there. Let's keep the chat rolling, and let's keep this slate rolling here. On to the next one. North Dakota State and Michigan State. Michigan State, the forgotten team of that region. People just not even talking about them in that East. But there's a lot of good teams there. But it's Tom Izzo and it's March. So um, and of course they're huge in terms of size advantage in this one are the Spartans. So what do you think, man? I mean, Michigan State implied for 79 here, North Dakota State 64. uh, it feels like maybe we dip into the Spartans, but I don't know, man. Like this
Yeah,
is the tough one. This is the tough one.
yeah. This is kind of an ugly one, man. Like I don't play players against Michigan State. Like it's just, I mean, they got the bigs inside, right? So you don't really want to attack them that way. Uh, they kind of grind you out. It's Izzo, right? Like 64 implied total. You got a bunch of dudes checking in here. Nobody really playing big minutes other than Savanowitz and Damari Wheeler Thomas. You can't do it, man. You look at the Michigan State side. I think a couple of guys are interesting for tourneys. Like we have solid projections on Cohen Carr, Kohler, Cooper, Fears. Jordan Scott's got the best projection. That's just because he's going to play 28 to 29, maybe even 30 minutes here at 4,600. Like that's more of a floor type play. Like I don't even. He just doesn't have tournament type upside. So while our projections are matchup based, it's saying like, hey, what's the median that he will most often get to, right? Now Jackson Kohler and Jeremy Fears, well, they are obviously sitting in that 3.5 to 3.6x range, but they have like 5x upside. So Jackson Kohler could easily double. I took his over on PrizePicks. He was at 12.5. We haven't projected for 14.2. He's a guy that can double easily in this spot, and then Jeremy Fears can legitimately go for 20 and 12 in this spot as well. So if he's not kicking people or doing other random stuff, that's
I mean,
so those are the two guys I'm looking at, Jay. Crossing off North Dakota State, looking at Kohler and Fears though in the large field as spin ups.
yeah, I get that. It's tough to click it in this one for me too. I'm worried about a blowout, and I'm worried about these guys just spreading it around and everybody getting a little love on the Spartan side on
Yeah,
this
that's
one.
what happens in these these 14 threes, these 15 twos, 16 ones. You start seeing guys you hadn't seen since the non-con. You're like, oh, what? Why is he playing 5 minutes? It's like, oh, well, they haven't had a non-con game and they played somebody in the
yeah. Somebody's sitting at like 3,100 that gets 5 minutes and just shoots 4 threes real quick, and you're
yeah,
like, where is that in the notes? Like, how
yeah,
are you supposed to? Yeah, that happens like that
always.
sometimes. But there's going to be some sure, not want to say sure things, but surer things. Guys that
Yeah,
we're very confident in as we continue to roll along on this slate. BX saying, yeah, that Georgia game it's 170 according to KenPom's metrics too. They got it at 169.5. We're going to get there, and there's some nice totals as we roll through here, but it's also some nice value. We're going to talk spend ups, mid range options as well. So thanks for hanging around with us here on One and Done. Hop in the chat. It's kicking like always. And push all those buttons. And you can follow us over on the socials at One and Done CBB as well. Our guy Darren, who's in the chat here, as you can see, he's always hanging out with us over on the socials, and we're happy to see that. So make sure you follow us over there. And we're going to keep this slate hopping along. We're cruising, Mike, and we're hitting all 16 games. We just hit North Dakota State and Michigan State. Moving on now to Hawaii. And I think most people's favorite or highest seed maybe to make it to a Final Four run here. I know a lot of Arkansas love. I have Arkansas going to the Final Four myself. I think, Mike, you do
yeah, I do
too.
too. Mm-hmm.
So they need to win this first game though, and obviously, Hawaii is not really imposing that much of a threat.
Yeah.
to this team. Both teams get up and down, though. We like that. Hawaii 62nd in tempo, Arkansas 20th in tempo. But big time turnover discrepancy here in this one. Advantage Arkansas. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, great for DFS, man. The tempo is awesome. There's gonna be a lot of possessions. The pricing is pretty cheap. This Hawaii side, there's a couple of plays. Hunter Erickson, I think he's a phenomenal value play. 4,500. He's gonna play 33 to 34 minutes in this one. Not gonna probably score a ton of points, but can get some rebounds. Has a high assist rate. He's just gonna be on the floor a ton. So I definitely don't mind Hunter Erickson. I think he's more of a like a safer, where I'd rather probably play Woolley for upside, right? In the Louisville game, just for the scoring upside, right? And maybe he can kind of get you those other stats too. But Dre Bullock at 6,800, I think he's okay. Another guy that's going to play 33, 34 minutes. He's going to take more shots, going to have the ball in his hands a ton. The guy that's kind of interesting is Isaac Finlinson. I didn't really know what to do with him. I put him at 28 minutes. He was, cruising for like 5 straight games at like 33, 34 minutes. And then all of a sudden he plays 23 minutes. Wasn't in foul trouble or anything. Couldn't really find anything on it. Looks like they just went to Isaiah Kerr. We went a little bit smaller in the UC Irvine championship game for the Big West. But yeah, Finlinson's kind of interesting, but he just stands in the corner and shoots threes. Like he has a 6% assist rate. He doesn't really get stocks, so you're kind of asking a lot. He is 4K, but yeah, I just don't think it's for me. I'd rather play Erickson for $500 more, and we have a Boozer and all these other guys that are in the 4K range. So I don't really know why we would need to mess with it. And then you look at this Arkansas side. Ari Cuff is obviously awesome. We have him at 21, basically 21 and a half. I think that's exactly where his player prop comes up for points. As you see, it's like 3.6, but kind of the same thing we're talking about with Fears, Kolar, some of these other guys. Like these are median projections. His upside, I mean, he has 50 fantasy point upside if this thing stays close, and he's going to absolutely fry. So love Acuff. Not too many other guys on the squad. They're kind of being priced up. Brazil's always an awesome tournament play, Jay, but Malik Thomas is cooling off a little bit just because they're playing DJ Wagner a little bit more now. So that kind of cuts into the big Malik Thomas minutes.
I love spending up for guys that I actually really enjoy watching play basketball.
Yeah.
And Acuff is one of those players, man.
Yeah, I spend up on the guys that get in foul trouble. So.
We all have our kinks, Mike. That's okay. No shaming here, I promise you. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Show your broskies in basketball some love. Yeah, Darren, he's still there, man. Like the boombox guy stuck around, as Jeff is reminding us.
Yeah, he's still there. He picked NC State and McNeese in the final. He already lost the NC State side.
I love it, man. I love that we have these characters. Like it's good for the game to have all these different personalities around. Like I like it. I mean, it's I'm not, I'm in the old man area when it comes to storming the court. Now, don't get me ranting on that, but I'm okay with the boombox guy. Okay, totally get that. All right.
Excellent. What about Mike Francesca saying that Zuby Ejiofor was sitting behind? He's a character, right? Like sitting behind Joel Embiid from 10 years ago.
I'm not gonna repeat what I said about Francesca in the group chat earlier today, but just know that I'm not a fan. All right, but I am a fan of VCU in this game against North Carolina. And that's the next game here that we're chopping it up about on this slate. Hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Hey, if you didn't know, Eric the Blue behind the scenes pushing the buttons tonight at Fantasy Nav in those Twitter streets. Shout out to Eric doing a good job. And shout out to our guy Nape getting a night off from pushing the buttons. He's on the moon somewhere at Napesy Hustle. So shout out to Nape as well. I hope there are not too many North Carolina fans that are, I mean, obviously this is the Tar Heels and they'll probably, make us all look silly, but VCU, a very popular pick in those bracket streets. Are they popular picks to click on to help us win some money though, Mike? And who's going to step up from UNC?
Yeah, not really, man. For VCU, I know Barry Evans. This is more of a solid value range because he'll play 30 minutes, right? Not a high usage guy, but he does get rebounds. He can collect some stocks. Got a decent projection on him, but that's probably about his ceiling's not much higher than what you're going to find his average median. This floor is actually a little bit lower, so he's kind of more of a dangerous value type play. All these other guys, they're just going to play 28, 29 minutes. They were all cheap in the A10 title game, but now they're all up by like $500 to $1,000. So Terrence Hill could fill it up, man. He's a lot of fun to watch. North Carolina's got to be careful with him. So probably not getting into anything here. Barry Evans is more like a secondary value play on this Duke side. Or excuse me, the UNC side. Sorry, UNC fans at me. Jaron Stevenson, man, at 5K. I think he's an awesome play, Jay. Like an awesome play. Obviously, we know Caleb Wilson's out. He's going to have to play 33, 34 minutes. And Derek Dixon, while he's coming along at 4,800, has a solid projection. He's more of a floor type guy at his Seth Trimble, I can't get excited at 7K, even though they're going to need him to score. Yep. Jaron Stevens is going to take a lot of shots, has rebounding upside, and has to be more involved, whereas he didn't do much when Wilson wasn't. He just kind of stayed in the corner and took threes. Henry Vasar, obviously at 9,400, he could easily go for 20 and 10 here, so you have to have him, some tournament shares of him. But, yeah, I think for 5K, Jaron Stevenson's a pretty awesome play for tournaments. He could easily go for 33 fantasy points. I wouldn't bat an eye at it.
Love it. Good stuff. And if you're a Tar Heel fan, you hope he does. Because if he's putting up that sort of fantasy production, that means he's putting up real life production.
Yeah, putting up real life points.
UNC is going to need every bit of that in this one. It's a tough one when you come into the tournament with injuries to your key players like that. And we'll see if North Carolina can overcome in that one. And we'll see, if Jaron Stevenson can help us, chase a comma, that'd be all right. Why not? Hit the subscribe button, show your broskies in basketball some love. Moving along here. Let's keep it rolling, Mike. Yeah. This is the creme de la creme in terms of the teams that Mike loves to win it all in terms of Michigan. But they're playing Howard here, and we know the blowout potential's there. I don't believe that we're going to see these coaches leaving their players in up 27 with 2.5 minutes left because they need style points anymore.
Yeah.
So that blowout potential is there. And we kind of have a really good idea of who's going to play for Michigan. Yeah. But how are we is this a spin the wheel type of a thing? I mean, what do you
100%?
All right, what do you got?
Spin the wheel. I mean, well, first, I've never done a projection where one team we almost had all red on one side and the other team was all green. That's how ugly this is going to be. 90 to 60 basically is what we're looking at. Howard is going to get just destroyed on the glass. It's going to be so bad. You can't play anybody in Howard. The problem with the mids, especially the lower mids, is that their main guys, they go off in their conference tourneys and they score 40 fantasy points. So then when they come play the 1 seed or the 2 seed, they're max priced. And that's what you find. So easy to cross off, right? On the Michigan side, Jay, Trey McKinney, awesome play. Obviously, LJ Cason's gone. He's going to get blowout minutes. He looks awesome. He's going to be a stud next year. Elliot Cadeau, I got him at 34 minutes. He could legit get 10 or 11 assists in this one. We have him for 6.5. I think that's right around where I think his prop is 7. I can't talk you off. Namari Burnett and Roddy Gale kind of right, but they're under 4K. So if you needed to find guys, and people aren't going to click them because you got all these 4K guys that look good that are going to play 30 something minutes. These guys are going to play 20, and then you have to talk about Johnson, Lindenberg, and Mara. Right, any of those guys could have 32 fantasy points by halftime, and it wouldn't shock. It would not shock.
Right.
And at 7K for Johnson and Mara, this is probably a Morez Johnson spot, man. He cleans the clock out of non-con teams, man. I think on Oakland, he had 20 and 10, and it was just ridiculous. He was just dominating these guys. So, yeah, Lindenborg, I just don't know that they're going to push him. But, yeah, I can't really say anything bad about Michigan as far as the plays because the prices are pretty solid. Pretty solid outside of Lindenborg being at 9K, and even that, he's a 10K type player. So, it's just a blowout, Jay. You might see a couple of guys like Goodman and maybe another guy come off the bench that get 4 or 5 minutes where it lowers a couple of guys by a couple of minutes, which then – but they could get all their damage done in the first half too. So
I feel like that's what we're going to see in this one.
Yeah. Spin the wheel. One or two of these guys are going to have a really, really good game, and it's going to be in 28 minutes. It's okay. You
can see the Morez Johnson special in this one for sure. I could definitely see that being the case, and you don't have to pay $8,900 for him like you do Lindenborg, and you can get him for $7,200. If I had to guess who I thought would end up with more fantasy points in this one. I mean, and you put Morez Johnson and Lindeberg right there next to each other. I think that's a tougher conversation than some of us might be willing to admit
100% for this game.
for this game specifically. And that's sort of what makes Johnson a little bit appealing to me as well. So hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Who we got in there? Josh asking, is Holloway officially out?
Yeah, he's not on the slate, but he's on Friday's slate, and yeah, DK has him at 3K. I don't think he's with the team anymore. That's a whole situation. It's like 2 pounds, so 2.1, I think is
Two
what it,
point. I thought we thought it was just 1 pound,
yeah,
and then it ended up being
2.1, bro.
2.1 pounds. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's officially out. He's not even with the team, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
that's the yeah. So we're happy that you're here with the one and done team right here, chopping it up, loving it. Michigan prices upsetting your stomach, Gags. Yeah, we get it. For
Yeah,
sure,
because
man.
God dang, it's so enticing. I'm like, which one do I want? It's like at the grocery store, you see everything you like, and you're like, I'll take that, I'll take that. But I might be too full by the time I get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't look at this Michigan team when you can't look at them when you're hungry because you're gonna want to just eat and take them all, click them all,
Yeah,
and figure it
yeah,
out. And it's just not it is what it is. It's tough. Spin the wheel, pick your guy, Morez Johnson. I like it, but Yaxel obviously can get
yeah,
44 fantasy points in 21 minutes and sit down. And he's that's over
yeah,
4x for you right there at that price.
yeah.
So, all right, let's keep it rolling here. Texas and BYU. Texas a very popular upset pick. A lot of people
Yeah.
saying that they like their road to the Sweet 16 here. They got to get through BYU first, and this is one of the higher totals on the board. Mike, 165 implied points according to KenPom's metrics. Both teams are going to run, obviously, but we were talking about this after the first 4 game on Tuesday night after the Texas game. It might set the record for most ISO possessions in the history of
It's gonna be
one
so bad.
game of college basketball. So, I mean, how do you chop this one up? A couple of teams that have spread it around also as the season have gone on, and
Yeah.
obviously BYU playing without Saunders.
Yeah, the BYU side's a lot easier, right? And yeah, I mean both teams 320th and assisted to made field goals. So like whoever has the ball in their hands is gonna is gonna shoot it. It's kind of how it goes, and that's typically 2 guys on BYU, which is the Bonsa and Kennard Davis, both of them drastically different prices. And on Texas, sometimes it's Pope, sometimes it's Mark, a lot of the times it's Dalen Swain. So I mean, you look at it like obviously a great game environment, man. Regardless of the assists. The last game, right? We got teams in the 16, 17, 18 assist category. These teams, hanging around the old 14, 15 assists. So not going to get a lot of assists, but you're going to get a lot of probably transition buckets, steals, a lot of block opportunities because they play fast. AJ DeBonsa, man, at 10K, I think you have to play him. He's going to play all 40 minutes. And this is a Texas team outside the top 100 as a Power 5 team in defensive efficiency. Like they got so lucky that they played NC State, who has no synergy offensively, that's probably the best matchup Texas could have gotten. This is a good matchup because, yeah, you kind of want ISO ball, right? You be a little more stagnant. The problem is they have the best ISO player in the country in AJ DeBonsa. So, yeah, absolutely live. Love them for really any format. Kemba Keita and Kennard Davis are so cheap. It's so annoying. They're both sub 500, 5,000. Kennard Davis is going to play 37 to 38 minutes if he doesn't foul.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. He's another guy in the 4K range where it's like, how do you not click him? He's $1,000 cheaper than Boozer. He's going to play. And I know Boozer's rates are a little bit different as far as his assist rate has more ways to get there, but Davis is going to take some shots, right? Like he's going to be on the floor. But it wouldn't be surprised me if he had 15 fantasy points. You're like, what happened in 37 minutes? He's just that type of player. Kemba Keita, the foul issues could be a problem against Boykatitis. One of those two, they'll probably both be on the bench within the 8-minute mark in the first half. But Keita, dude, live double-double. Like, he's live for a double-double at 4,700 with block upside. So, BYU, awesome for those 3 plays. Rob Wright, just kind of there. He's kind of cool for the large field because you look at those three guys and you forget, oh, Rob Wright's actually like the number 2 option. You know what I mean? On the Texas side, Dalen Swain, I thought he'd pop a little bit more. I mean, it's more because of the price, right? Like 18, 7, and 3. You'd be like, oh, that's a solid day at the office. He's going to need stocks for a ceiling. Not touching Kendall Weaver. I know he hustles. You don't get points for hustling. You do get him when he gets steals and stuff, so that's nice. But yeah, Jordan Pope is kind of cool for tournaments just because he can score 25 real life points. Tremont Mark, I I don't know, Jay. Like Texas stuff, even though 81 implied, it feels a lot easier to get to the BYU guys because you kind of know what you're getting into with those guys. Whereas Texas, like Tremont Mark, he could play 22 minutes, he could play 33 and dominate the game. Jordan Pope could play 22 minutes, or he could play 38 and dominate the game. So that's kind of what you're getting into with this game. But a lot of great plays, and look at that total, man.
Are you saying Kendall Weaver's not going to get 10 rebounds again?
I don't think he is. I think Kevin Cada and AJ Devonta will have a
Yeah.
will have a say in the
It
defensive class.
might be the largest. He might not. Watch him have. He had 10 boards in that one. Watch him have like 0. If it's like the exact opposite type of a game.
Yeah. Meanwhile, NC State's playing like 6'8" Darren Williams at center. Like Texas can't break a press. It's crazy.
It's so crazy. It was hard to watch, but they found a way to get to this game, and a lot of people feeling like they could get it done against BYU. We shall see. One of the higher totals on the board, so obviously we're going to have a little bit of interest in this, and it's the stronger feelings are on the BYU side. Gag saying that Davis hurts his stomach. I get it, dude, but again, like 4,100, my man. Like,
yeah, I mean, in this game environment, in this economy too.
In this economy, loving that. Texas A&M and St. Mary's is next up.
Yuck.
On the board. Yuck fest indeed. Mike, I mean, 149 implied points here. Huge clash in styles. Buckyball getting up and down the courts, and St. Mary's is just going to take their time.
Yep, chilling.
And just, let the game come to them. One of the biggest clashes in styles on the entire slate, on the entire tournament of the first round. And big rotations on the Aggie side, Mike. Not a lot of green popping on these projections. And like you said, sort of just yuck is right, man.
Yeah. If you play Texas A&M guys against St. Mary's, you are legit asking for it, because the only guy that's potentially going to hit 30 is maybe AG, maybe Rylan Griffin. And their price tags are kind of taking the upside out for tournaments. So cross them off. You don't have to play the cheapies because we got a bunch of cheapies everywhere else. On the St. Mary's side, for tournaments, Morauskas, right? Because he's allowed to play 38 minutes. Massive rates across the board. If they happen to speed St. Mary's up, which they want to do, he's probably going to be one of the beneficiaries. Joshua Dent's going to play full 40 minutes, which is kind of cool, but he kind of just hangs out. Mikey Lewis is 8K. I don't know, man. It's probably Morauskas or nothing in this game. Like, if you're just trying to get different in the 25K, otherwise, man, cross it off for me. Dent, if you're in like a smaller field and you want something like safer toward the end,
he's gonna play every minute, man.
Yeah.
Like that's the best, but that's the best thing about him. And when that's the best thing about the best thing I feel about a player, I'm not really inclined to click it.
Yeah,
he's gonna play 40 at that exactly, man. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. So good luck spinning the wheel if you want to play in the Texas A&M and St. Mary's game. It's one of those where if you just pick a guy and he happens to help you beat me, I'll shake your hand and move on. I'm not interested in this one either. Let us know in the chat. Are you clicking Dance, knowing that he's going to play every minute? Is that the play for you? Are you getting different there? I don't think there's going to be plenty of popular guys in terms of ownership in this game. So if you want to get different, that is one way to do it. You could also get different by getting in the one and done Yahoo bracket challenge. We've got a link for that in the chat. We've got, how many people are in there now?
Like 55.
We're up to 59 now. So help us be number 60 all the way up to 67, 68, 69, 70. Let's get all the way up there. 67. Let's go ahead and get it all the way up there. I do that. I got kid. Never mind. We'll talk about that another time. So let's keep it rolling here. Let's keep it rolling here. On one and
only 4 more, my man. 4 more. We're coming down the straightaway here.
We're making good time on this one for sure. With 12 games down, 4 to go on this one, and we're seeing it's Penn and Illinois. Illinois, for me, one of the more overlooked teams come this season. Come this time of the season, I should say. Pay some spots for Illinois too, and they're going to score some points either way. So 86 implied on the Illinois side, only 65 for Penn in what will probably be another blowout here. Penn star TJ Power missed practice yesterday with an illness, so that was Tuesday. That was the latest that we had on that. And then Ethan Roberts is out with a concussion, so Penn probably not anywhere close to full strength. and Illinois looking to make a statement here
Yeah.
in their first round matchup. And that's one of those things where, again, this is, I mentioned it in a game earlier. This could get just spread around and
Mhm.
everybody gets theirs in
Yep.
this one for Illinois, which makes it tough to just want to jump all over some of these guys.
Yeah, you pretty much cross off Penn. I know, got power for 37 minutes, but even in 37 minutes healthy, it's not really a great play in this spot. You have, you know, two brothers named Avicic, and you have Merkovich. Yeah, you got some dogs in the front court on the other end. So yeah, no interest in Penn. I could get behind David Merkovich. Um, he's just a guy that fills up right all the categories outside. He doesn't really get stocks, but he can get you rebounds and assists and score. So he's 8K. Um, I don't know that I'm going to click him. Keaton Wagler, he's kind of due for a massive spot, man. He's kind of ever since Kylan Boswell's kind of come back. He's kind of taken a little bit of a step back. He's been tremendous though this year. I can't believe was the best player, one of the best players in the Big Ten this year, and the best player on Illinois. So yeah, tournament upside at 8,900. He could put up 45 fantasy points in the spot. I think Zvonimir Visic at 4,300 is like such a funny large field tourney play because he's a legit guy that can have 22 minutes and put up like 26 fantasy points at 4,300 because he blocks like 5 shots and hits like two or three threes and collects like 6 rebounds. So I think, yeah, they got a lot of tournament options with the Visage as Vonimir and then Wagler. Probably off on Stojakovic and Boswell. They're kind of splitting minutes. Hummerkaus and Davis are splitting minutes. So yeah, there's just not a lot to love outside of some of these tourney plays on the Illinois side here, Jay.
Love it, man. Let's keep it rolling here. And I think it was BX in the chat that
Oh yeah.
mentioned this Georgia total, and we're finally there. And it's
Yeah,
actually
BX was
one,
TJ Power. That was the former Duke player. Went to Virginia. Now he's at Penn.
and that's kind of where his game is suited for, if we're being honest. I mean, that's okay. There's
It's
nothing
okay.
wrong with
Yeah, no,
that.
no.
There's nothing wrong with that. But he
Yeah.
fit in pretty well over there at Penn for sure. And BX was mentioning earlier the Georgia total here. It's 170 points according to KenPom's metrics. The last we checked, 86 implied for Georgia, 84 implied for St. Louis. Mega tempo in this one. Both teams might do like to play a lot of players though, and that sort of dampers
Ah,
things quite a bit on this one. There's the name that everybody is gonna know on the St. Louis side, the most popular name in terms of name recognition, and that's gonna make him super popular at 7,600, Mike. So you got
yeah.
Avila there, and he projects really well in our projections.
Yeah, the thing is, he's also got Santos Cerullo, who's, if you look at Evan Maya defensive box score plus minus, he's over a 3, which is like elite. So he's got to deal with that. But the thing with Avila is it doesn't really bother him because he shoots 3, so he's going to be able to pull Cerullo away from the basket. And he's, you would imagine Josh Hurts is going to play him 32 to 34 minutes to win an NCAA tournament game. So yeah, obviously, I love some of the other guys in the 7K, 8K range with upside. I think he's more of a floor type 7K guy, just because you want those 32 minutes with his rates. I'm not interested in really anything else on St. Louis, man. It's a little bit tough. They play guys in the mid-20s, and then you look at Georgia. They're going to check in I might be able to check in for Georgia for a couple of minutes, man. Like they just play
Ooh,
everybody. Like anyone is.
start
Hey,
stretching
man,
your hamstrings now, friend.
dude, I don't have anybody for over 28 minutes. Like, it's annoying. It's been like that all season. So when your best projection is Kareem Stagg at 18 minutes, like it's just time to move on. So
No, thank you.
while the 170 is juicy, BX, like good luck. Now that's not to say like a Blue Kane or a Marcus Millender or Jeremiah Wilkinson at the 6.8 to 7.5. That's not to say one of those guys couldn't go for 32 to 35 fantasy points. Absolutely in the realm of possibilities. Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's also, again, that's betting that they're scoring a lot more real life points than we're projecting them to have in some of this stuff. And
Yeah.
you could if you told me that Blue Cane
Right.
was gonna get hot, and we knew he
Yeah.
was gonna get at 20 real life
Yeah,
points, and that the
exactly.
rest of this game was gonna come. Like obviously, we would feel really good about that. I don't know, man. It's just it's hard to click it. We've paid for Blue Cane before. We probably paid about this price
Yeah.
for Blue
Yeah. Even
Cane
Wilkinson.
on
Yeah.
multiple times, right?
And
So
you get a 35 or you get a 16.
right. It's not an unfamiliar click, and that's the hurtful part is we know the feeling of seeing the 16 instead of the 35. So,
Yeah, I think they're great tournament plays though. Like the large field, you can
right.
catch Blue Cane or Wilkinson. Because Wilkinson could legit score 26 real life in this game with
Yep.
this total. So I don't mind. I'm not going to have as maybe one every three lineups, right? You mix in one of these Georgia guards that'll go off, something like that if you're multi-entering. But if you're playing one lineup, like I don't know, with 32 teams on the slate, I just trying to spin the wheel on some of this stuff is kind of crazy.
And you don't have to. There's plenty of options. You don't have to take those chances and make as many dart throws. You can form lineups, obviously, and to win
Yeah,
25K,
you have to do stuff.
to
Yeah,
win the big money, you have to try different
yeah,
things, obviously, and it's gonna take a lot of points, a lot of fantasy points
yeah. Bingo is what you
to
need.
take this down. So you got to hit it right, but
Yeah.
and getting different and playing some of these guys with these ceilings. Obviously, yeah, you might have some of your lineups all the way down to the left, and you're like, well, that didn't pan out very well. But you make some of the right plays. If you're spreading things out and you're getting
Mhm.
different, and we're trying to chase, we're
Yeah,
chasing commas here, man. You know?
100%. But it's like, Jay, you could also formulate easily lineups with how often can you formulate all 8 guys that are going to play? You could get a lineup with 37 plus minutes guaranteed, pretty much without
Yeah,
fouls, because of the
yeah.
4K guys and because of the A cuffs and those guys at the top. So it's like, oh, okay, well, there's Millender, like you kind of have to like fall into some luck too, and that probably gonna what wins the 25K. Some of these smaller ones that are $44 3K to first, you're probably not going to see as much of those guys. You'll see more of the traditional stuff. People playing the higher dollar.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, sorry, just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah,
No, I
to win
love it. Yeah.
25K, I don't mind playing with those Georgia guards.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, we got Corey, the king of the single entry, in the chat saying he's going to listen back in the morning with the one and done in his cup. Shout out to you, Corey. Good stuff, C-Mac. Good to see you in the chat as always. BX saying guy at work ran into Avila at the bar downtown and said he was pretty cool. And then, realized that guy makes a lot of money.
Yeah, I say
And,
maybe more than 100K.
I would say more. I would say
Yeah,
more for sure. So
in
good
St.
stuff
Louis.
there.
Yeah,
We love the old anecdotes in the chat for sure. Keep them rolling. Good to see BX. Good to see Darren and everybody. Gags is in there still. C Mac in the chat. Loving it. Let's keep it rolling here. Only 2 more games
yep,
left to go. We're absolutely crushing this slate. 14 down, 2 to go. The next one is Kennesaw State and Gonzaga. When we saw this one on the reveal show, it was one of those things where I felt bad for Kennesaw State. It's not going to be a pretty one for them. The Zags should probably take care of business early on in this one. And that's something that we're going to have to take into consideration when we're thinking about clicking some of these guys on the Zags side. Can we get into this one? We
oof,
know it's 156 implied points.
yeah,
Zags projected for 88, and
yeah.
we know that they're going to get up and down. Kennesaw State is top 20 in tempo. Gonzaga's above average themselves.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
a
it's
lot of
it's tough,
possessions.
man. Like a lot of possessions in this one, but can we make the right click?
Yeah, I mean, like Kennesaw State. I mean, you have RJ Johnson that's just going to play max minutes, right? And he's got the ball in his hands, but man, like you got to think Mark Few's going to try to take him out. So this projection, he might cool him down a little bit. Although if he plays 37 minutes in this type of environment, 16, 4, and 4 is not. I mean, with the guys there, he's their guy. So it's just not a ceiling type play for a tournament. I don't love anything else on this Kennesaw side. Gonzaga is kind of interesting for tournaments. Tyron Grant Foster absolutely has 5X type ceiling, but he's also kind of like the Georgia guys where you're like, he could play 21 minutes. And because Mark Few just kind of goes with what's happening during that game. St. Superi, right? And Braden Smith kind of fall into that category. Right now, it looks like St. Superi is now in the lead. At the beginning of the year was St. Superi. Middle of the year was Braden Smith. Now it's St. Superi again. They just kind of flip-flop the guy that's going to play high 20s and the guy that's going to play 12 or 13. So Graham Ike is the guy, right? I thought we were going to get like 8,800, 9K gram EK. We're getting 10-2 gram
And
EK, but he could literally go for 30 and 10 on these guys. But he doesn't get stocks, man. So even 30 and 10, you're not dead, right? Like you're just not dead if you don't have them. So yeah, not a lot to love because you're going to get some Worley minutes, Miller minutes. I would imagine Diagne gets out. I don't think they're going to want to play Graham EK, 38 minutes in this one. I have him for 35. They should handle business. Kennesaw's got no chance to stop him. So
early and
yeah,
often, EK is the medicine for the Zags, and I think that they'll put this one away pretty early. It's going to be tough, man. Again, like you said, Grant Foster, super enticing there. You know the ceiling, and you're not at a 6.2K. Like, man, that's he can get you
yeah,
there. He can get
yeah.
you there, but man, like there's just EK is sitting there, and you know he's just gonna have his way. Yeah,
Seriously, so bad.
can you triple into a couple of
Oh
steals?
man, if he
You
does,
know,
yeah.
like I mean, goodness, it's enticing, and again, that's a guy that I like to watch play too. So sometimes I find myself clicking that guy because I want him to do so well. But hey, that's not how it works all the time. You got to make the right plays at the right times, especially playing for 25K to first on a
Oh yeah.
Thursday. That's what and we're also trying to get you to go $10 into the one and done invitational, also known as the MC Holland 34 Invitational over on DraftKings. We've got a link for that in the chat.
QR code above Jay's head right there.
Boom, right there. Hit the QR code. You can get over to DK and join us over there. Trying to fill that up. 10
Yep,
bucks a pop. And
yep.
let's have a little bit of fun over there, win some money, get this bread. Loving it, man. Loving it. We got one more game, Mike, before the core four. Yeah, that's right. You didn't think we were gonna do 16 games and not give you a core four.
Core
That's
20.
that's coming right at the end after Idaho and
Yeah.
Houston. Yeah, what a just a big wet fart to end on
Yeah, we're gonna
here.
go to sleep.
Idaho and Houston. My pick to win the whole tournament, the Cougars, and one of the lowest totals on the board. So whatever that makes me feel, I'm not sure yet. But Houston is going to play D. We know that, and Idaho is going to struggle to get to 60 points here. So the projections love anybody on the Idaho side because it's
I
almost
mean,
like they're going to play a ton of people. The minutes are sort of spread around. What are you
yeah.
feeling about that? And then can we click any of these guys, even with such a good team total for Houston?
Yeah, I mean Idaho you just cross off. Like it's just it, you're playing they're playing Houston. Like you're
Yep.
implied for 59. Like, it's just not any good clicks. I think Houston is awesome for tournaments. You got obviously the hammer. Sacco, that's kind of steamed a little bit. There's not much juice above that. There's not really much floor to him. There's not much ceiling to him, so he's just kind of where he lands. But any of these guys, Jay, using at 5,700, Tugler at 6,200, Emmanuel Sharp, who has not shot the ball well and will not stop fouling, is 5,500. And Keekston Filmings, who's been filleting people for 40 fantasy points, is now 8,500. You could stack a couple of these guys in the hammer, and you could get paid off. Now, the problem is you're probably going to see McCarty. Sinak's obviously going to factor into it. Mercy Miller's been playing some minutes. You're probably going to see a few more guys because Sampson loves to play some of the guys that don't play during the conference season, giving them 4 or 5 minutes. But maybe picking one of these Houston guys, I think Emmanuel Sharp is due for like a 20-point real life game. The problem is Emmanuel Sharp doesn't really do anything else. So you need a couple of steals and a few more things. I just think at 5,500, he's a guy that could really get it going. Or Uzan could put up stats across the board. Like he could easily go 11, 6, and 7 in this spot at 5,700. So, yeah, Tugler, I loved his over on boards. 5.5 on PrizePicks. He's at 6.6 in our projections. If he does not foul, he's been playing 32 minutes. 32-minute Joseph Tugler is like built for DFS heaven against a non-con team. It just screams 12, 10, and like 7 blocks. Like, so yeah, for hammer pieces, a one-off here, Jay, could win you a lot of money here.
You know what I'm a fan of, Mike? I'm a fan of getting guys at their lowest price all season long when you know they have the capability of absolutely exploding. And
Yeah,
that's what we're getting with Sharp. He
yeah,
has not been this cheap all season
yeah,
long. He's been in the mid 7K
yeah.
range. when he was at his peak, but mostly hanging around the mid sixes all season, up and down and around. We're getting him at
And they
5,500.
want to get him going too, like because he
Of course,
hasn't
they
like
want to get him going, man. This is a smash spot. This is a big time opportunity. And I don't think he's going to be super popular. I think people are going to say, okay, it's Houston. I know the projected total is what it is, but it's hard to pick and choose. I think Sharp is a wonderful play, and I'm going
yeah,
to be clicking his name. It's just, it does feel like a game where they want to get him going, man. And
yep,
we'll see if they can do so. I'm loving it, Mike. I'm loving that we got through 16 games in just over an hour. We were cruising through
yeah, it's pretty
this
good.
slate tonight. First of all, before we get to the core four, I need to address something in the chat here. My friend Jay Kearney's saying that the Cougars are not going to win it all. How dare you, sir? First of all, how dare you? No, I love it. I love it. I know that's not a super popular pick, but hey, that's what I'm riding with this year. Let us know who you got for sure. Yeah. Core four alert. Let's go. Here we go. I don't know that Sharp is going to end up in our core four. I like him a lot, but I think we've got some exciting plays here. Mike, I'm going to let you take both of these
Yeah,
tonight. I'm not taking the safe, warm blanket like
yeah,
when I usually do the cash games. Why don't you take both of these cores
yeah.
tonight? We are going to start with the cash core, though. Here, what do you got?
Yeah, so cash core, you're just looking for guys with minutes and roles that are like it's just the floor is just there, with tournament upside too. So Kennard Davis 4,100, either him or Kebakeda. Now Davis should get the minutes if he doesn't foul. It's just too cheap for him at 4,100. Caden Boozer, Foster's out. He's going to play 36, 37 minutes. You see, like he's going to be able to rack up points, assists. Just it's a great play at 5,100. Rink Mass at 6K, great floor ceiling combination. Look, he's at 6K, so even if he goes for 20, like yeah, he burns you, but it's 6K. You still have a decent floor at that if you're playing cash games and double ups. Nick Boyd at 9,200, he's in one of the highest totals. We got him projected for around 22 points. He's kind of underneath all those studs as far as the price tag, but he's still a guy that has a lot of upside there. So that still leaves you with 6,400. Like you're literally going to be able to do whatever you want. So that's what's kind of nice about this slate. But it is going to take a lot of fantasy points, and you may need to take a chance, probably one chance somewhere random where you get the 2% guy, like a Wilkinson from Georgia, or a Tugler from Houston, or a Sharp, right? Like somebody kind of with upside, right? That makes you a little bit different because if people aren't playing Davis, Boozer, Mast, like, I don't know. Like it just says then you might make a lot of money because those guys are just in such good spots. For tourneys, I think you have to look at Hunter Erickson from Hawaii at 4,500. I mean, he's going to play 34 to 35 minutes. Arkansas, not great defensively, so he should be able to rack up some fantasy points in that one. Adrian Woolley, Michael Brown Jr. is out. He's 4,900, playing 33 to 35 minutes in this one in one of the higher totals. Just makes too much sense for a guy that has scored 27 to 30 fantasy points quite often recently at 4,900. Darius Acuff, we know he can go for 50. Hawaii, that's an up-tempo game. So you absolutely love that at 9,500. And then AJ DeBonsa at 10K against Texas. This isn't Houston. He had, I think, 36 against Houston fantasy points. This is Texas. He's probably going to have 46 plus easily. So I don't know how you don't click AJ DeBonsa. When they're implied for 84 points, like I think it's an 84 if he doesn't score 30 real life. I don't know how that means Kennard Davis went off or Wright, who's an awesome tournament play too. For them to get to 84, Jay, Wright or DeBonsa or both have to get to 55 combined probably for them to even have a remote shot at getting to 84 implied.
So. No thanks. It's tough, man. And I mean, again, like DeBonsa, he can get all that he's going to get, and Texas can still win that game.
Oh, yeah.
And fortunately for us, we're just talking one game on a Thursday. Can DeBonsa go for 30 and 15? And the answer is yes. Texas is going to use all their fouls up. But I love the DeBonsa click. Make sure you hop in the chat. Let us know if you're riding with the core for.
Ooh, up 14, Jay. Up 14.
How much time is left?
Seven to go.
7 to go.
We're going to be able to catch the stretch here.
We're going to be able to catch the stretch run here. Thanks to everybody for hanging out with us tonight. We definitely appreciate everybody hopping in the chat. BX, Jake here, and our guy
Yeah,
Darren,
fire.
the pilot, hanging out in the chat. Gags was in there as well. The king of the
Playmaker.
single entry, Corey McDaniel hopped in there. Playmaker 23 hopped in there. Want to make sure that I get everybody. I think we got
Yeah,
everybody there tonight. Loving it. Hop in the
everything.
one and done brackets invitational. Let me hit the refresh button here. We had 59 people in it a little bit ago, and we have 61 in it now. We've crossed over the 60 player threshold. Get over there, and you can win yourself a $25 gift card to StubHub if you win that one. And you will also be anointed the Oracle of One and Done, the first ever Oracle designation for One and Done, and that comes along
That's a lot.
with.
That's way more than $25.
I mean, like, you can't put a price on that. That's not something that you can just say, hey, this is the value of no. The title of Oracle comes with all the rights and privileges therein forever. So, Darren, you do have the same shirt that I'm wearing tonight, and
Yeah.
that was from winning it last year. So we're all chasing the defending champ right there, our guy Darren, and we appreciate him for being a part of our show. Thank you for hopping in there, BX. Good to see you. Good luck to everybody. Let us know. Find us at One and Done CBB. Make sure you tag us with your green screens. We want to see all the fun that you're having over on DK after this Thursday slate. Hit me up after that hammer. After we stacked Houston and won a bunch of money, man. Happy tournament to all you two guys. Guys, good to see you. As always, thanks to Eric the Blue for pushing the buttons tonight. Appreciate him for getting the studio ready, doing all the stuff behind the scenes. Shout out to our guy Nate C. Hustle as well on the moon tonight. A well-deserved break.
And in the chat.
Yeah, there we go, right there, dropping the.
He's got Wi-Fi. He's got moon Wi-Fi.
He's got that. He's got that Starlink probably. That's the best stuff on earth, is what I've heard. So. Anyways, good stuff, Nate, and good stuff to you, sir, sharing the viewing device with me, El Capitan himself around these parts, the captain of the one and done ship at MC Holland 34 on X, the OG Money Mike, the comma chaser, Mr. Mike Holland. Good luck to everybody. Make sure you hop in the comments if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button. We appreciate all of you for hanging out with us. Tell somebody that you love them. Take care of yourselves, all right? Until next time, good luck, everybody. My name is JAYHEINRICH. Come again. We'll see.